Hey everybody, and welcome to the next game that I'm going to play, which is the Vanishing of Ethan Carter. This is a indie game that was released not too long ago for PC on Steam, and in all honesty, I've never heard of this game before, but when I was watching a Dutch review, a video game review program, one of the members mentioned that the Vanishing of Ethan Carter was released, so I kind of got curious and checked it out. And to my surprise, it is a first-person sort of detective game, which is actually a genre that I'm very fond of. I really love detective games as long as they are real-time. So think L.A. Noire, I guess think this game, I guess some of the Sherlock Holmes games as well, but I really don't like detective point-and-click sort of stuff. I actually need to have direct control over my character and walk around. So even the early Ace Attorney games are also not really my thing too much. But let me just say that this game is absolutely gorgeous looking. I played for maybe a little over 5 minutes, a little less than 10 minutes to kind of test it out if my machine can handle it and stuff, and it did. It is actually, I think, Unreal Engine, if I'm not mistaken, but it looks absolutely amazing. It's not too long, I heard, so that is also why I can fit it well between all of those titles that are coming out right now. But one of the things that is very cool about it is that it is a story-driven game, but the game does not hold your hand. And this means that there are several crimes or murders or whatever that you need to solve, and it is actually you're actually able to progress the story without seeing certain things. So in the beginning, we will, for example, see a murder, and the story will actually progress even if you do not find the murder weapon directly. It's totally fine to actually miss that, where most games that have story-driven actually force you to go to the murder weapon to follow the story that they have been telling. So it actually really rewards you to explore this game. Let's start a new game. Are you sure this will overwrite? Yes. If anybody knows another detective game that's really good, please let me know. I absolutely adore this genre, as long as it's, like I said, real-time. None of that point-and-click bullshit. Pretty long loading screen though. But you'll soon see why. The game looks amazing, especially the lighting. Texture-wise, it is pretty though, but I've seen prettier games texture-wise, but just the ambient lighting and everything is amazing and really realistic looking. Obviously just finished Deadly Premonition, which is also a detective game, so I'm ready for a new one. Still loading though. Still loading. Don't know if that's because there are like no loading screens in the game. Those 10 minutes that I played, there were no loading screens, that's for sure. Here we go. So this game is a narrative experience that does not hold your hand. So that's what I'm talking about. So you can actually progress the story and continue without missing
Ethan Carter, I didn't know.
Or with
But
missing
he knew
stuff.
who I was. When the police won't help you and the priests don't believe you, you call on Paul Prospero. You call on me.
Oh
If you're
shit.
a kid like Ethan, you're right. Plenty do. Ethan's letter started out just like any other fan mail. But soon there were mentions of things no little boy should know about. There are places that exist that very few people can see. Ethan could have drawn a map. I hadn't entered Red Creek Valley yet, but already I could feel its darkness reaching out for me.
Oh yeah.
Finding Ethan Carter wasn't going to be as easy as knocking on his door. I was too late for that. To find Ethan, I had to figure out what this place was trying to hide from me.
So there's one thing I forgot to mention. This game is actually supernatural. Now supernatural games in terms of crime solving, I'm not too much of a big fan of, because I obviously like the more realistic stuff, the whodunit scenario, right? Like in L.A. Noire. However, I do love some touch of like Cthulhu mythology or anything like that, and I heard that you can pretty much compare it to that, so that is why I'm giving the supernatural element a pass. But as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. Gorgeous lighting. The mist and everything, it just looks really gorgeous. If we actually go up a tree, you can actually see what I'm talking about. So, texture-wise, game is gorgeous as well. Like I said, I've seen a little better with the recent, next-gen titles, but this is definitely gorgeous as well. I mean, those leaves are pretty crisp. Very pretty. And so, this game doesn't hold your hand. So you can, for example, follow this rail track, but you can also be like, well, fuck it. I'll go here. And there could be something on the rail track that I would miss. Or there would be something that I could find here. And so this is the only thing that I don't understand yet. So you have a trap here. And obviously, like I said, it's supernatural, so you get these visions. But I haven't been actually able to do anything with those visions, so that's pretty much as far as I've come there. I will say the game is not a horror game, I think. But it is pretty creepy sometimes. And look at this, people. Oh my god. I mean, it's gorgeous. And like I said, what I played, no loading screens, and what you actually see in the distance is actually where you're going to go eventually. I mean, look at this.
Red Creek Valley seemed like a quiet, ordinary place. I've learned two things in my life. No place is truly quiet, and nowhere is really ordinary. Ethan warned me about that. Warned me not to be fooled by what I saw here. He didn't need to worry. I'd worked dozens of cases, hundreds. This would be my last one.
In a way, you could actually compare this game to a point-and-click, even though I said that I didn't like those. But what I really mean is real time. So, a lot of, old-school point-and-click games have static images, and I don't want that. That beach that you see in the distance, that building, we can actually go there, and I assume that we also will go to that dam eventually. But just, the game is oozing with detail. So gorgeous. It's actually been announced for PS4 as well. So if you have that console, definitely pick this up. It's actually not a high-priced game. It's like $20. But like I said, it's only... I heard that you can complete it in like 4 or 5 hours. So not too long. And here we begin. So it has these words popping up, like the BBC show Sherlock. I think a lot of female viewers will appreciate that. Crank. And so, the thing is, did you need to find the crank? And the first time that I tested this out, I actually didn't find the crank, but I could still continue. Yet the crank is actually on that beach, and if you get the crank, oh god, what the fuck? Oh! That's the first time I saw, yeah. This is what I'm talking about, the beach. Now we obviously need that to get this thing to work. We can actually enter. Fool around a little bit. Obviously has no power though. So let's exit. And so we sort of have a split thing here. We can go forward there. Over here, there isn't anything worth of mentioning, though. It is a dead end here. But yeah, I would say most impressive about this is the lighting. The lighting is more realistic than I've ever seen. A lot of games where, for example, they want a fairy tale-like feeling really go for a bloom effect that is very over exaggerated, and this really is not. It's really subtle. Here we go. And here we go. We already get the first gruesome thing. Rest of the corpse. There's a blood trail over there. You can see, pretty gruesome. So you can go over there, you can go over there. By the way, you can also just ignore all of this and go forward, and the game will continue then as well. Dry grass, obviously you got to do with the gasoline. That one, yeah, obviously. So obviously what this is implying is that the rail car stood here. That because of no sun and everything, the grass here dried up. Now over here, like I said, I did play still up until this point, but we're very close to the point where I stopped. Fresh dirt. Oh? I didn't see this though. There's a rock. I know where that tree stump is though. Let's check that out. But do you also feel what I'm saying? The game is not really scary yet. It's creepy, you know? I feel like I'm being watched or something. Oh, there we go. Some blood. Oh, we can actually... Can we... How do I zoom in? Oh. Well, obviously we're taking it, right? So let's find the rest of the corpse. Ah, there we found it. So the guy actually got away pretty far. Fractured skull. It's the rock. Yeah, so I cannot actually move the camera right now. You would think I can, but I cannot. So here's the running part, right? So here's what I'm thinking, okay? This is always the cool thing about these detective stuff, that you can make a hypothesis, or whatever you want to fucking call it in English, by yourself. So, obviously his legs first got severed by the train car. Now, obviously that doesn't kill you immediately. So he went over there, and then, I would say, he got hit by the rock, and the murderer hit the rock in the grass. Again, just a gorgeous looking game. Because there isn't a lot, too much going on, I think most people will be able to handle this on the highest setting. The only thing is that, because there are no loading screens, it could be kind of heavy on your PC because it needs to render the whole area. But look at this. So first time I was here, I didn't actually find the crank. And it didn't matter to the game. The game just let me continue. Let's actually see how far we can get into the... Yeah, I know. I'll pick you up in a minute. Not too far. So as you can see, that building that we saw on the bridge over there, it's all in real time. I really love that. There's blood over here as well. We'll take it. And so now there's some interaction going on. Where? How do I get back up? And so this is kind of the point and click aspect, right? So like you find an item and you use it on another item. But I'm completely fine with that. And especially this, since the game will let you continue without knowing certain stuff about the murder case. Whereas, for example, L.A. Noire wouldn't. Even if you had all the answers wrong in L.A. Noire, Cole Phelps would just shout out something in the interview or to one of the murder suspects and solve the case. Where I was like, wait, what? How did you get that information? We didn't even have that. And that was a big flaw of that game, I think. I think a perfect detective game, and it doesn't exist yet, but it's a game where you actually in first person you use like search a crime case or a crime scene, and there are all these items, but the game really does not give any hint of what is related to the murder case and what not. You know, in L.A. Noire you had that thing where items would light up, or you would hear a sound when you were near an item, or the music would stop when you found all items. You could turn that off though, let me tell you, but I didn't want that. I didn't want to have that option that I knew that the thing was over, so I played it like that. Made it frustrating, but all the more fun though. I need to click that mouse button. There we go, now we have power. So now, we go here, and obviously, what I think what needs to be done is we need to put it back at the exact part where the dry grass was. Let me exit for a moment. What was that sound? That doesn't sound scary as shit. Did we get a new hint? There you go. Whatever that means. Okay, so obviously this is how we... Only thing I don't know yet is what we do with that rock, right? Okay, so we do that here and it fits. So now we go back because we learned some more. There you go. Oh, am I in control? Oh, I'm in control. Wait, what? Okay, first of all, who's this? How do I know that it is this old guy? So we got this old guy. He's holding the rock.